Hello everyone. In the previous session we have discussed the concept of Spearman rank correlation. So in this session let me explain one more important concept. It is called as quartiles and quartile deviation. Quartile and quartile deviation. So as the name itself suggests, quarta in the sense 4. Fine. So as you already familiar that suppose if I have a central tendency, median will divide the central tendency into two equal parts. That is the median is the exact measure of a central tendency. Whereas quartile in the sense, suppose if you have a central tendency, that is statistical data, quartile divides a statistical data array central tendency into 4 parts. 1 part, 2nd part, 3rd part and 4th part. So quartile divides a central tendency into 4 parts. So I can define a quartile as a measure which divides a given series into 4 equal parts, where Q1 is called as lower quartile. Lower quartile, or we can say this as first quartile. First quartile. Fine. Similarly, Q2 is called as second quartile. Second quartile. We can also say this as median. Right? Why? Because you can note that Q2 divides the central tendency into 2 equal parts, right? If you don't have the point Q1 and Q3, you can note that Q2 is dividing the central tendency into 2 parts, right? So when the measure divides the central tendency into 2 parts, we say it as median. So that is the reason Q2 is also called as median, and Q3 is called as upper quartile. Upper quartile, or we can say this as third quartile. One and the same. Fine. And a measure which divides the series into 4 equal parts is known as quartile, and such kind of deviation is none other than quartile deviation. So we can find the quartile deviation by subtracting upper quartile by lower quartile and divide it with 2. So quartile deviation is defined as it is the difference between upper quartile and lower quartile divided by 2. Or it is a difference between Q3 and Q1 divided by 2. So that will give you the value of quartile deviation. Now, quartile deviation will be similar to median. That is, in median, how we are going to locate the value, that is based on the size. That is n by 2th term, n plus 1 by 2th term. So something like that. We are going to locate the median by using the, what we say it is term. Right? So similarly, quartile deviation is also locating by using the terms. Fine. So in the sense, it depends on the type of data. For ungrouped data, Q1, Q2, Q3. Q1 can be obtained by n plus 1 by 4th term. So ungrouped in the sense where only x values will be given, right? Suppose when only x values is given, something like 1, 2, 5, 7, 8. Fine. So in this case, n value is number of terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So n value is 5. So 5 plus 1 divided by 4th term. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 divided by 4th term we have to find out. Fine. Similarly, Q2 will be obtained by using the formula n plus 1 by 2th term. Similarly, Q3 is obtained from 3 by 4 into n plus 1th term. So instead of writing all these formulas, you have a look at this formula list. I have given the same in the notes. See here. Here I have listed all the formulas of quartiles. Whenever you just please turn the mobile so that you can see clearly. So for ungrouped data in the sense when only, we can also say this as individual series. So when only x values are given, you just write there x values given. Fine. So in such case, Q1 is calculated by using this formula and Q2 is calculated by using this formula. Q3 is by this formula. For grouped data, again we have discrete and continuous series. Discrete in the sense x and f values. Continuous in the sense class intervals and f values. Fine. So discrete series you are using this formula, and for Q2 and for Q3, you can note that for discrete series and ungrouped data both are same. More or less both are same. But in continuous series only it is changing. See here. For ungrouped and grouped data, we are using the same formula to find Q1 as well as for Q2 as well as for Q3. Fine. But for continuous data, the term will be, formula will be changes. Size of Q1 can be obtained by n by 4th term. Further, we should use the formula Q1 is equal to L plus n by 4 minus m divided by f into h. I'll explain the terms while solving the problems. Fine. It is something like a median where we are finding F0, F1 and F2, no? So something like that. So I'll explain while explaining the problem. Fine. So similarly, to find Q2 of a continuous series, we use this formula. Nothing will change 4 will replace it with 2. Here also 1 by 2 is replaced with 3 by 4. So apart from that, everything is same. So you have to remember these three formulas. So once you know this formula, you can do the same for discrete series. For continuous series only it is changing. So you have to remember. And one more thing is that a size of a quartile will be located based on a cumulative frequency. Fine. For grouped data, you have to find out the cumulative frequency. CF in the sense I have already told you, cumulative frequency is obtained by adding the successive frequencies. Fine. So I'll explain anyhow once again. So cumulative, based on the cumulative frequency, we are going to locate the quartiles. So that is what I have given in the note point. So you just copy. Anyhow, I'll send you the notes. So hope so concept of quartile is clear for you. Now let me solve problems based on the quartiles. So here is the first problem, and clearly you can note that as usual I'll send you the definition. You just write down the definitions first, afterwards put an heading quartile deviation of ungrouped data. Ungrouped data is also called as individual series, in the sense only x values are given. Fine. So we need to, from the following marks of 11 students, total 11 students are there, we have to compute the quartile deviation. So as I said, to find the quartile deviation, and remember one more thing is that formula for quartile deviation is not included in this list. Quartile deviation, it was clearly mentioned in the first page, that is I'll send you anyhow. So it can be, as I already said, quartile deviation, if you want you can note there only. So quartile deviation is none other than Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. While explaining, I have told you clearly quartile deviation can be obtained by difference of Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. So if you want you can add this formula for the list as well. Fine. So this is what the formula is. Here we need to calculate the quartile deviation, that is QD we need to find. In order to find QD, we need Q3 and Q1. Anyhow, this is ungrouped data. So look at the formula list here. Here you have a ungrouped data list. So to find the size of Q1, before that first let me arrange the given data in order. That is, start with the least number and arrange to highest number. First number is 25, 30, next highest 37, 43, 48, 54, 61, 67, 72, 80, 84. Fine. Now we need to find quartile deviation. First you write down the formula. It is Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Now let us count the number of data given. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So n is equal to 11. Now we need to find size of Q1. Right? Size of Q1. Now look at the formula list. For ungrouped data where x values are given, we have to use the formula n plus 1 by 4th term. So here n plus 1 divided by 4th term. So substitute n as 11. So you will get Q1, size of Q1 is equal to 11 plus 1 divided by 4th term. So 11 plus 1 is 12. 12 by 4th term is none other than, I'll do steps for one problem. So you have to copy the same. It is third term. Right? So third item, in the sense you have to locate it by looking at the third item. Fine. So for ungrouped data, no need to calculate anything. Since x value is given, you just count the third item. This is the first element. This is the second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term, sixth term, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th term. So which is the third term here? Clearly 37. So it is not the final answer. It is just the size of Q1 is third term. Which is the third term here? 37. So Q1 is 37. Fine. Now what else we required is Q3. So size of Q3 we need to calculate. Size of Q3 is equal to, again for formula for Q3 for ungrouped data, it is clearly given in the list. It is 3 by 4 into n plus 1th term. So let me write the formula. I am showing you the formula list just for your reference. So it is n by 4 plus n by 1th term. So 3 by 4 into n is 11. So 11 plus 1th term. In the sense 11 plus 1 is 12. 12 into 3 by 4th term. Fine. So let me simplify. 4 ones are 4 3s are 3 3s are 9. So it is 9th term. So which is the 9th term here? It is clearly 72 is the 9th term. Therefore Q3, size of Q3 is 9th term. So Q3 is 72. Fine. Once you obtain Q1 and Q3, you can calculate QD by using the formula. Fine. I'll just do here only. So QD is equal to Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. So Q3 is 72 minus Q1 is 37 divided by 2. So when you divide, you will get quartile deviation is 17.5. See, it is very simple. I'll just explain once again. You have to remember the formula. First, you write down the formula for quartile deviation. Next, count the number of terms. Write down it as, make it as n. Now, size of Q1 formula you just write and substitute the value. Now, the key point is here 12 by 4th is third term. So, you have to locate the position. This is third term. So, it is Q1. Similarly, here you have obtained ninth term. So, ninth term is 72. So, you have to write down. Clear? Hope so it is clear. Now let me solve one more problem of the same kind, that is for ungrouped data. So here is a problem. We need to find the quartile deviation for this problem. As usual, first you write down the x values. So you have to remember that while writing the data, it is also very important. If you are writing the problem as it is, whenever as it is, you will not get the correct answer. First you have to arrange the given data in its ascending order. Start with the least number. 17, it is key point. I am reminding you once again, please arrange the given data in all the problems. So 17, next I is 22, next is 25, next 32, next is 43, next 47, next 55, next is 59, next is 64, again 67 and 80. Now count the number of data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So take n value as 11. Now we need to calculate quartile deviation. So write down the formula for quartile deviation. It is Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Anyhow, we need to find Q3 and Q1. First let me find size of Q1. So size of Q1 is, as I already told you, for ungrouped data it is n plus 1 by 4th term. Fine. So n is 11. So 11 plus 1 divided by 4th term. So 11 plus 1 divided by 4th term is 12 by 4. 12 by 4 is third. Again it is third term. So size of Q1 is third term. So which is the third term here? 1, 2, 3. Third term is 25. So Q1 is equal to 25. Next let me find size of Q3. So size of Q3 is formula 3 by 4 times n plus 1th term. Right? So 3 as it is, 3 by 4 as it is, n is 11. 11 plus 1, 1th term. I'll just put bracket here. So 11 plus 1 is 12. 4 1s are 4 3s are 12. Right? 3 3s are 9. Again you will get 9th term here. Fine. So 9th term, which is the 9th term here? It is Q3 is 64. Clear? Size of Q3 is 9th term. So clearly 9th term here is 64. So Q3 is 64. Now we can calculate the quartile deviation. It is Q3 minus Q2 divided by 2. Q3 is 64 minus Q1. Q1 is 25 divided by 2. Fine. So let me simplify this. You just take a difference and divide it with 2. So when you simplify, you will get answer as Q quartile deviation is equal to 19.5. Clear? So this is for ungrouped data. That is only when X values are given. Clear? Now let me do the same for grouped data. So here you have a problem which is based on grouped data. Right? And moreover it is discrete series. Why? Because only X and F values are given, and moreover X values are given in terms of direct values. It is not in terms of class interval. So first write down the values of X and F that is given in the problem. Whatever is given, you just write down the same. So X is 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. F is 15, 20, 32, 35, 33, 22, 20, 10, 8. Now, in the formula list, as I said, size of a quartile is located by using cumulative frequency in case of grouped data. So, this is important. Grouped data, while solving grouped data, you have to find cumulative frequency. Clearly, it is grouped data. So, first let me find cumulative frequency. So to solve quartiles of grouped data, first step you have to find cumulative frequency. As I already told you, first term as it is. Next add this term to 20. 15 plus 20, 35. Next add this term to 32. 35 plus 32 is 67. Next add 67 to 35. You will get 102. Next 102 plus 33. You will get 135. 135 plus 22. You will get 157. Next 157 plus 20, 177. 177 plus 10, 187. 187 plus 8 is 195. Clear? Just the succeeding value you have to add to obtain a cumulative frequency. Anyhow, you have already done this cumulative frequency. Now write down the formula for quartile deviation. No matter whether it is grouped data or ungrouped data or continuous series, quartile deviation will remain same. It is Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Only formula for Q3 and Q1 will be changing. Right? Now let me find size of Q1. So here is a formula list. So for grouped data, that is only when discrete series, only when x values are given, size of Q1 is same as the ungrouped data. So I am using the same formulas here. So let me solve here. So size of Q1 will be given by n plus 1 divided by 4th term. Fine. Now let me count n value 1. Remember, here is the main thing. Now n is the number of elements in case of ungrouped data, but that is only when x values are given. Since when x and f values is given, you have to add the frequency in all the cases of grouped data. So to find n, you have to add frequency. You just add all this frequency value, you will get 195. So now n value is 195. It is very important. Most of the students will make mistake here. For grouped data, n will be sum of the frequency. For ungrouped data, n is number of items. Fine. So size of Q1 is equal to 195 plus 1 divided by 4th term. So when you simplify, you will get 196 divided by 4th term. So it is 49th term. Now you have to look this 49 in CF column. So in CF column, 49 will lies between, clearly it will lies between 35 and 67. Right? 49 lies between 35 and 67. So I'll just write here 49th item or 49th term lies between, you have to write this statement, 35 and 67. Fine. So we have to consider 67 as cumulative frequency, highest number. So first I will repeat once again, 49 in the sense it will lies between 35 and 67. Among these two values, which is the highest value? 67. So you have to consider that as CF. Fine. So it lies between 35 and 67. Therefore, CF is equal to 67. And the corresponding x value for that is 60. Corresponding x value is 60. So you have to take x is 60 as Q1. Fine. So Q1 is equal to 60. Fine. I'll just repeat once again. First you check for 49th term, whether it lies between 35 and 67 or not. So it is lies between 35 and 67, among which highest value is cumulative frequency, and corresponding value of highest frequency will be the quartile Q1. So x value is 60. So 60 is called as Q1. Corresponding x value is 60, that is x is equal to 60 and that value is Q1. Therefore Q1 is equal to 60. Fine. So that is how we are going to calculate Q1. Next we require Q3. So let me calculate size of Q3 now. So formula is given by 3 by 4 into n plus 1th term. So n is here 195. So 195 plus 1 into 3 by 4. It is 3 into 196 divided by 4. So if you simplify, you will get 147th term. Now 147 lies between 135 and 157, right? Among which highest value is 157. So that will become cumulative frequency. Corresponding x value is 63. Fine. So it is taken as Q3. Clear? So let me write 147th term lies between 135 and 157. Therefore CF is equal to 157 and corresponding x value is how much it is? It is 63. Therefore Q3 is equal to 63. So once you have done with Q1 and Q3, you can calculate quartile deviation. So I'll just do it here. Therefore quartile deviation is equal to, substitute in formula, it is Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Q3 is 63, Q1 is 60 divided by 2. So it will give you 3 divided by 2. Therefore quartile deviation is 1.5. I'll just repeat once again. Whenever you have discrete series or group data, first you have to write the given data, afterwards calculate cumulative frequency as I done. 15 as it is. Next you have to add all the successive values. Next, write down the formula list, and then size of Q1 can be calculated by using the formula and substitute the value of n. Remember, here the value of n is sum of the frequencies. Fine. So as usual, now 49th term we have to need. 49 in the sense we have to find in which values it going to lie. Among which highest value should be taken as CF, and the corresponding value of X will give us Q1. Similarly, highest value, second one, that is Q3, you need to use the formula. Here 147, clearly it lies between 135 and 157. Highest value is 157, that has to be taken as cumulative frequency. Corresponding value will be Q3. So I have obtained Q1 and Q3, substitute it in using formula, that is quartile deviation formula. So this is the required quartile deviation. Hope so it is clear, right? So here is the second problem. Clearly it is also a discrete series. Moreover, it is group data. Why? Because X and F values are given. First step, you just write down the X and F values as it is. X is 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180. Now F values is 6, 19, 40, 23, 65, 83, 55, 29. Now as usual I said, whenever you have a discrete series, you have to find out cumulative frequency in order to find the quartiles. So as you already know that cumulative frequency, first value will be as it is. Next 6 plus 19, 25, 25 plus 40, 65, 65 plus 23 is 88, 88 plus 65 is 153, 153 plus 83 is 236, 236 plus 55 is 291, 291 plus 20 is 311, 311 plus 9 is 320. So once you have calculated cumulative frequency, you just write down the formula for quartile deviation. It is given by Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Now we have to calculate size of Q1. So it is given by, for discrete series it is same, it is n plus 1 by 4th term. Now as I said, it is a what we say discrete series, that is group data. So n can be obtained by adding all the frequency values. So you just add all the frequency. Remember, it is frequency but not CF. So you add all the frequency value, you will get 320. So you have to take n value as 320. Now substitute. So you will get size of Q1 is equal to 320 plus 1 divided by 4th term. In the sense, you will get 321 plus I'll just write one more step, 321 divided by 4th term. So you will get it as 80.25th term. Fine. So size of Q1 is given by 80.25 term. So now you have to check 80.25 lies between 65 and 88, right? So here also the same thing. 80.25 lies between 65 and 88, among which highest value is 88. So you have to take that as CF, and the corresponding X value will be Q1. Fine. So I'll just write one statement. 80.25 fifth term lies between 65 and 88. Therefore, let 88 is equal to CF. Corresponding X is 80, therefore Q1 is equal to 80. Fine. Now let me find the Q3. Size of Q3 formula is given by 3 by 4 times n plus 1th term, right? So 3 by 4 into n is 320 plus 1 is 321, right? So when you divide, you will get 240.75th term. So 240.75 clearly lies between 236 and 291, among which highest value is CF. So corresponding X value will be Q3. Fine. So I'll just write one statement here. 240.75th term lies between 236 and 291. So CF is 291. Therefore corresponding X value is 140. Therefore I can write Q3 is equal to 140. Now once you obtain Q1 and Q3, you substitute in formula. So I'll just do it here. You have to write below this. So quartile deviation is equal to Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Anyhow, I have written here. So quartile deviation is Q3 is 140 minus Q1 is 80 divided by 2. So when you divide, 140 minus 80 divided by 2 is 30. So this is the required quartile deviation. Only thing is, for the group data, that is whenever x and f values are given, you have to find the cumulative frequency, and we should locate the quartiles with reference to cumulative frequency. Hope so it is clear. So this is for discrete series, that is when x is given directly. Now let me solve whenever x is given in terms of class interval. So here is the problem. We have to find the quartile deviation. Moreover, it is continuous data. Why? Because we have class intervals here. Now we should find Q1, Q3 also quartile deviation. So both the values along with quartile deviation we have to find. So as I already given in the formula list, whenever you have a continuous series, you have to use this formula for Q1, and for Q3 you have to use this formula, right? I'll just refer this formula list in order to solve this one. First, before that, let me write the given data. Class interval is 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25. Now frequency is 7, 18, 25, 30, 20. Now again we need to, here no need to calculate x value. We are locating it only with reference to cumulative frequency. So it is enough to find out cumulative frequency. So first let me find cumulative frequency. 7 as it is. 7 plus 18 is 25. Again 25 plus 25 is 50. 50 plus 30 is 80. 80 plus 20 is 100. Fine. Now let me find the quartile deviation, for which we have to find Q1 and Q3. First you have to find Q1, right? So let me find size of Q1. Now look at here, continuous series, size of Q1 is given by n by 4th term. Size of Q1 is equal to, see here, size of Q1 for continuous series is n by 4th term. So I'll just write here n by 4th term. So whether it is continuous or discrete, it is group data. So we have to find n value by adding all the frequencies. So you add all these values of frequency column, you will get 100. So n value is 100. Now size of Q1 will be 100 divided by 4th term. So you will get it as 25th term. Fine. As usual, you have to choose 25th term from CF. So 25 is clearly lies between 7 and 25. Right? So among which highest value is 25. Anyhow, it is equivalent to 25, no matter. So it will be CF. Now to find Q1, we are just locating the number here. Now to find Q1, you have to use this formula I have written here. See here, size of Q1 formula I have written clearly. So let me write the formula. Q1 is equal to L plus n divided by 4 minus m divided by f into h. Clear? To find the size of Q1 of continuous series, I have what I have done is, first I have calculated n by 4th term. Fine. And I have marked it in a cumulative frequency, and after that I have written a formula here. Now let me find the terms in the formula. Now which is the highest value? It is 25 among these two, so it is CF. Corresponding value class interval is 5 to 10. What is the difference between 10 and 5? It is 5. So h is equal to 5. Which is the lowest value among these two? 5. So L should be equal to 5. Fine. Next, what else is required? F. Right. So F is corresponding frequency. Fine. And what else is required? M. M is the preceding value of a frequency. That's all. I'll just repeat once again. Once you mark the cumulative frequency, that is 25th term, lies between 7 and 25. Among these two values, which is the highest value? 25. So you have to mark it as cumulative frequency. So corresponding class interval, what is the lower value here? 5. So that value will be L. What is the difference here? 5. So it is, that is 10 minus 5 is 5. So that value will be H. Corresponding frequency is F, and the value just above this cumulative frequency is M. So you have to take M as 7. Clear? Now let me substitute in a formula so that you will get Q1 is equal to L is 5 plus N is number of terms. It is 100 divided by 4 minus M is 7 divided by F is 18 into H is 5. Clear? Now let me simplify this. So Q1 is equal to 5 plus 100 divided by 4 is 25 minus 7 divided by 18 into 5. So when you simplify this, you will get 5 plus 25 minus 7 into 5 is 90 divided by 18. So after simplification, you will get Q1 as 10. Fine. Now what I have done is I have just used the formula for Q1 of a continuous series. So I have obtained Q1. Next, what else we need to find is Q3. Fine. So let me write Q3 here. Size of Q3. You have to write below this since very low space is there. So I am writing here. Now look at the formula list for a continuous series. What is the size of Q3? We have this one. So I'll just write here 3n by 4th term. Right? So 3 into, I'll just write formula here. Q3 is equal to L plus 3n divided by 4 minus m divided by f into h. You have to remember these formulas list. Sometimes they'll ask you to find Q2. In such case, you have to use this formula. Fine. Now let me find out the values of Q3 here. So you will get 3 divided by, 3 into n is 100 divided by 4th term. So 3 into 100 is 300 divided by 4. So 300 divided by 4th term. In the sense it is 75th term. Fine. 75th term. Now 75 lies between, you have to check here, 75 lies between 50 and 80. Right? 75 lies between 50 and 80. So among these two values, highest value is CF. Right? 80. So corresponding class interval is 15 to 80, among which lowest is 15. So L is equal to 15, and now this value will be F. F is equal to 30, and value above this is M. M is equal to 50, and H is difference of this. So it is 5. Clear? So Q3 is equal to L is 15 plus 3 into N is sum here. N is 100. So 100 divided by 4 minus M is 50. Divided by F is 30 into H is 5. Clear? Now let me simplify this. So Q3 is equal to 15 plus 3 into 100 divided by 4 minus 50 divided by 30 into 5. So it is 75 minus 50 divided by 30 into 5. So after simplification you will get 15 plus 125 by 30. So Q3 is equal to 19.1666. So once you obtain Q1 and Q3, you can find quartile deviation. It is given by Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Q3 is 19.1666 minus Q1 is 10 divided by 2. So after division, you will get quartile deviation as 4.5833. So this is the required quartile deviation. I'll just repeat once again. For a continuous series, first you have to write down the given data, then calculate the cumulative frequency. Then write down the formula for size of Q1. As I mentioned this formula in the formula list clearly. So this is for continuous series. To find the Q1, you have to use these two formula. That is n by 4th term. So n by 4, you just add all these values, you will get n. Substitute here, so you will get 25th term. Clearly you have to look for CF column. So 25th term lies between 7 and 25. Highest value is CF. So corresponding value is F value. Fine. And the corresponding class interval lowest value is L, and the value above this is M. You just list here and substitute in the formula. Similarly for Q3, you refer the table. So Q3 I have clearly given. Use the same formula 3n by 4th term. Now let me substitute, write down the formula. Since when you substitute n is 100, you will get 75th term. 75 lies between 50 and 80. So highest value is CF, corresponding value is F. I'll just write here corresponding value is F, and lowest value is 15, and the value above it is M. So I have listed here, difference will be H, substitute, you will get Q3. And again, so I use the formula for quartile deviation. Why? Because we need to find quartile deviation as well. While solving the problem, look at the problem carefully. Sometimes they'll ask you to find Q2. In such case, you have to use the formula for Q2 I have clearly given in the list. So just substitute Q3 and Q1 and divide it with 2. You will get the required quartile deviation. Fine. Now let me solve one more problem. So here is the next problem. Here also we need to find the quartile deviation. So first write down the given data as it is. Class interval I have listed and frequency I have listed as in the problem. Next step, we have to find cumulative frequency. As I said, first value written as it is. Next 6 plus 10, 16. Next 16 plus 18, 16 plus 18 is 34. Next 34 plus 30 is 64. 64 plus 15, 79. 79 plus 12, 91. 91 plus 10, 101. 101 plus 6, 107. Now you add values of frequency, that is sigma f should be taken as n. Add all these values of f, you will get 107. Fine. Now first find out the Q1 value, that is size of Q1 is equal to, as it is continuous series, you have to use the continuous series formula. It is n by 4th term. So I cannot show you the formula list again and again. I'll just write here n by 4th term. So here the value of n is 107. So if you substitute, size of Q1 will be 107 divided by 4th term. So when you divide, you will get 26.7th term. Fine. Now 26.7, you have to check for the cumulative frequency table. Clearly 26.7 lies between 60 and 34. Right? Among which highest is 34. So choose it as CF. Corresponding value will be F. Corresponding lower value of a class interval is L. Above value is M. Fine. So write down the formula for quartile deviation. It is given by Q1 is equal to L plus, that is the formula for Q1, n by 4 minus M divided by F into H. Either you can choose this as small m or capital M. So since it is small m now, so Q1 is equal to, I'll just write all the values here. So L value is 12. H value is class difference, in the sense 16 minus 12. 16 minus 12 is 4. So H value is 4. Next n value I have already done, it is 107. Now M value is 16 and F value is 18. With this you just substitute, you will get 12 plus 107 divided by 4 minus 16 divided by F is 18 into H is 4. So now let me simplify. You will get 12 plus 26.75 minus 16 divided by 18 into 4. Divide with only this term. So if you simplify, you will get 12 plus 43 by 18. So after simplification, you will get Q1 as 14.388. So this is the required value of Q1. Next we have to find Q3. I'll just write here. Size of Q3 is, as usual, formula 3 by 4th nth term. So when you substitute, you will get 3 into 107 divided by 4th term. Fine. So after simplification, you will get it as 80.2th term. Fine. Clearly 80.2 lies between which value, you can just see here. It lies between 79 and 91. So if you want, you can write that also. So anyhow I am not writing it. If you want, I will just write, since 80.2th term lies between 64 and 79. So among which highest value is 79. So you have to take cumulative frequency as 80.2th term lies between 79 and 91, right? I am extremely sorry for this. So 79 and 91. So among which highest frequency is 91. So this will be chosen as CF. Lies between, I'll just write here, 79 and 91. I'm sorry, you just change it, 79 and 91. So among which highest value is 91. So you have to take this as CF. So F value will be 12. M value will, L value is the lowest frequency value, and 79 will be the M value. So I'll just write the list here. So M is equal to 79. F is equal to 12. Clearly H is the class difference. 28 minus 24 is 4. L value is 24. Now write down the formula for Q3. It is given by L plus 3n divided by 4 minus m divided by f into h. Now substitute the values. L is 24 plus 3 into n value is 107 divided by 4 minus m is 79 divided by f is 12 into h is 4. Fine, I have just substituted the values here. Now let me simplify here. I'll just simplify here. So Q3 is equal to 24 plus, so when you simplify you will get 80.25 minus 79 divided by 12 into 4. You multiply and divide it with 4, you will get this value. Fine, so Q3 will be 24 plus 1.25 divided by 12 into 4. So on simplification you will get 24.416. So if you want you can write one more digit. So let me write one more digit. Why? Because I have taken 4 digits here. So let me take 4 digits here also. So once you obtain Q1 and Q3, you can calculate quartile deviation. It is given by the formula Q3 minus Q1 by 2. So only this formula will not change for either continuous series or discrete series or grouped series, ungrouped series. So only formula changing is Q1, Q2 and Q3. So please make sure that you are using the correct formula. On substitution you will get 24.4166 minus Q1 is 14.3888 divided by 2. So when you divide you will get quartile deviation as 5.0139. So this is the required quartile deviation. So this is the complete solution of a given problem. So you just take a screenshot and please write down the same. Hope so concept is clear. Only thing is you have to remember the formula. So this completes the quartile deviation. So in the next session I will be starting with the new concept called probability. Further, if you have any doubt in this concept, you can free to ask me. Thank you. Continue in the next session.